Okay, our next question is, this is a great one too. How do I know when my child is done with their ABA program?
Oh, this is a good one. This is one we get a lot as well. And I think probably the simplest response here, which is not simple at all, is when they've met the goals of treatment. Um, so it's really important then to clarify with your ABA provider at the outset of treatment what your kind of end of ABA goals are for your child. Um, and that could be different for, for everybody. Is it gainful employment? Is it maybe starting kindergarten without adult support? Is it being able to communicate needs and wants independently? Those are all very different goals. And this will depend on a lot of different things. So the age that ABA services start, for one, we have many situations where we have um, more young adults just starting out with ABA services, and the goals for that individual would be completely different from the goals for a much younger child starting out with ABA. So identify first those kind of end of treatment goals. So what you expect to get out of ABA. And I know for many caregivers, it's hard to articulate those without knowing what ABA is going to do for your family and your child. So give all of your wishes and dreams and hopes to your ABA provider and ask them what is realistic for us to accomplish here. Your ABA provider can then help you come up with a plan to turn those larger goals into more incremental goals to get you from the start of services to what you envision the end of services being. Your ABA provider should help you focus your goals as much as possible and help you prioritize those goals. Lots of skills are prerequisites for other skills. Certain things have to be worked on first in order to be successful, and then help give you really clear direction for how to get there. And then I think also important to the conversation is discussing any funding restraints with your ABA provider to know how long funding for ABA services will last. In certain situations, for instance, let's say services are funded by a school district. In many states, that ends at age 22, no matter what. So that would be important to know that, at that age, those services, regardless of the goals, would stop. Certain commercial insurance plans in certain states have age caps as well. So those are important things to consider. They're part of, ensuring that you're looking at all of the different components that go into providing services.
Okay, and then the very last question that we have today for you is, how do I get my child to poo in the toilet? He's 3.5 and has the pee in the potty thing, just not the poo. Help, I'm done with the pull-ups and the mess.
Yeah, the poo in the potty is oftentimes a lot harder. I think you said the child is 3.5, and sometimes boys just take longer to figure out the pooping in the potty thing. Typically developing children, kids on the spectrum. So I know it's probably not something you want to keep cleaning up. But in terms of age, he is still fairly young. So it is very likely that he will figure this thing out. To kind of help him along, though, what I would probably do is first speak to your pediatrician to make sure there aren't any medical issues going on. So oftentimes kids will avoid it, adults too, will avoid going to the bathroom if they're constipated, if it hurts, if there's something medically going on that might make going more aversive. So I would start there. If you're sure that that's not the issue, then you can skip that step. Your next and most important step, and oftentimes is a lot more difficult than it sounds, is to try and find his schedule, his poop schedule, or identify pre-poop behaviors, so to speak. So some kids are very predictable. They go, every morning, or they go after dinner every night. Or it's, predictably after a very large meal, or after a nap, or after or before something. So the best way to do this, especially if you have a kid who doesn't go every day, is to document as much as possible when he goes. So it might be easier to put him in underwear. I know that's not going to make the cleanup process easier, but you will probably be able to identify when he's gone, right when he's gone. So try and find that. Maybe take data over a week's time. Sometimes what we discover there is that, especially for more complex schedules or patterns, that if he doesn't go for 2 days, then he's going to go in the morning on the third day. Whereas if he hasn't gone for 1 day, he might go in the afternoon on that third day. So that's your first step. And then identify any pre-poop behaviors, for lack of a better term. So some kids will try and isolate themselves. Even though they're not going on the toilet, they want their privacy. Some kids will go to a certain location. Some will show signs of discomfort, or, whatever your child does, it lets you know, okay, I think he's about to go. So once you've identified the schedule or those pre-behaviors, then what you'll want to come up with is your kind of poop training schedule, which is if you did training for P, this will be fairly similar. So what you would do is to try and sit him on the toilet according to his schedule, or those, pre-poop behaviors, and then let him know what he will earn if he goes. Some kids are actively avoiding going. So even though he has to go, he may not go right when you set him on the toilet. So sometimes it takes a little while, a little encouragement, and letting him know that, it's okay. You can give him access to preferred items while he's on the toilet to make it more comfortable, and maybe give him a little privacy if he's able to sit there safely. And then when he is successful, because he will be eventually, then give him praise and provide that reinforcer. If he's really not going and he's been sitting for some time, you can let him up, give him breaks. But if you know it's about time for him to go, I wouldn't let him go too far away from the toilet.
Okay, a lot of great information. We're so grateful. This was so wonderful for us, and I know that it's pretty early in the morning for you, so thank you for taking the time to be with us. And forgive me because I'm going to ask you to come back again because it's so wonderful that it's like, we want more. And thank you for everything that you do and for all the families that you help, including mine. I don't know where we would have been without you. That's going to make me cry, but thank you so much. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me on, and I would be happy to come back.
All right. Have happy holidays.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Dr. Sienna Greener-Wooten. She is a BCBA and she is the CARD Clinical Quality Director. And I can't think of anybody that I would rather have be in that position, ensuring that all of our kiddos get the very best of what CARD has to offer. We're going to take a short break and then we're going to come back and I'm going to try to address a couple of things that you guys have written in about. And then we're going to be at the end of the show, but we'll tell you what's happening tomorrow because it's pretty good. Stick with us. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.